Welcome to the Walking with God in Nature podcast. Today we have an awesome guest. Her name is Molly Spencer. I've known Molly for a very long time, since I was little, and I always loved her. She was always energy to me. And so she said that she is a mother of six, and I have to ask her, she put on there, she is a GEEG. I don't even know if that's pronounced something.
It's GEEG.
GEEG, okay. So, so does that stand for something?
Well, it was GG, but then my oldest grandchild kind of switched it to GEEG.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's fun because it makes it unique.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And one thing that I can say about that is when you have grandkids, it makes your kids going through all of that so much better.
Oh yeah. It makes it worth it, huh? All the trials.
For sure. Yep.
On your social media, you and your husband changed out a van and we're traveling in that. So can you share more about that?
Yeah, just at the very beginning of COVID, of course, we were all stuck in the house, not going out anywhere. And for a while that was amazing, but I've got a little ADD on me and I had to do something. I had to have a project. So I had been watching these people on like Instagram that were redoing vans or they titled it Van Life. So I'm like, I want to do one of those. And so I talked my husband into purchasing one and we took out everything in it and started putting it together so it has everything that you need to travel in. It was a hard work, but it was a lot of fun.
So is that everything you need? Like, did it have a little kitchenette and bathroom or what?
It's got a queen size bed in the back, and then you can also put a bunk queen size. You can take it down and put it back, the bunk. And then it's got a toilet in there, and it's got a sink and a microwave and a refrigerator and a shower.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are some of the places you went? Did you have like a scheduled destination or you just kind of went with a flow, or?
We really had nothing like planned because that's how, we just kind of did it off the cuff, just decide. But we just did little trips and we went down to Arizona, and the first couple times we went down to Arizona and took our grandkids out. And then we went, we do every other year for Christmas. And so one Christmas, last Christmas, Steve and I just went down to California and we were by ourselves and we just went all over for Christmas down there in our van.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's when I first started. I saw it that you were in the van. So that's cool. Did you have favorite places that, like, how would it work where you would park and stuff to sleep?
Well, that was it's always tricky, but that Walmart park or Home Depot parking lot will let anybody, just park in there.
Yeah. I didn't know Home Depot. Did you know that my family and we traveled for a year, my kids, my husband and I?
No.
Yeah, we sold most of our items and all of our things and bought a motorhome and traveled for a year. That's how we ended up in Texas.
Really?
God just kind of brought us here. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. So we used Walmart's, but I didn't know Home Depot. That's good to know for future.
Well, it was great because you just never know where you're going to end up because we didn't have anything nothing planned. And I now find that Walmart is my mothership. I can find all the parts. I love them. Yeah. It's a great place.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So where are some places that you love to go, like your favorite stops?
I guess our favorite stop would probably be, like, we went to Laguna Beach and little electric bikes that we bought at Costco. And so you can take it, like, there's no place to park, right? So we parked away with the van and then we got out the electric bikes and then we just went all over. And so since it's so populated, you don't want to stay there for very long. So we just went everywhere you could see and then quickly back. And then a lot of times we go to beaches where you can really enjoy it, you know? So that's fun to do, and just a different type of take on getting around.
Yeah,
Been great.
that's exciting. That's fun. So I don't know, it seemed like I mean, you're out in nature. I mean, you're living in a van, but you're just out all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So I know that on your adventures, you, like you said, focus is, seeing family too. Has that
Yeah.
made it easier just to get out and go? And
Well, I think it's a little bit of been during COVID, once we got our van and going everywhere,
Mhm.
we never stopped. Like, because all we
Oh,
knew
okay.
was have to go back home and sit, right?
Yeah.
So we a lot of places just to be outside, because there's so much you can do outside, and being outside, I mean, it lowers your blood pressure, it makes everything better, that kind of thing. So I think being outside and being able to do that during such a chaotic and depressing time in the country was great for me.
Like a lifesaver.
Absolutely.
To be able
Yeah.
to just be outside and go. Yeah. Being
Well,
outside for me is just, it's my therapy, I guess.
well, it was interesting because I guess it was 2 summers ago, kind of, I think it was July. We were babysitting our kids down in Arizona, and I get the call saying that my dad is going to pass soon,
Oh, wow.
Decided to drive. Well, we're down in San Diego, so we decided to drive from San Diego to Portland and do it across the coast. And I can't tell you how incredible that was, because it was like a refuge for me, because I needed something to connect me,
Mhm.
of the heaviness, connect me to God through the heaviness of losing a parent, knowing, what was going to happen. And it just allowed me to connect more to him, and to, and also we thought it was only going to be a week, but then everybody up there got COVID. So we had to like slow down and do another week. So we just, kept going from beach to beach.
Oh, yeah.
And I had time, my mom's passed, so I had time to
Mhm.
like first with my mom. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because my heart was so heavy, and I just think it was the refuge, the salvation I needed.
Well, that's neat.
Long talks, walking
Mhm.
alone on the beach. I like to look for little rocks that are hearts shaped.
Uh-huh.
I'd find one, I'd say, Mom, did you send this? Do you know what I mean? Like, just,
Yeah.
so it was like a refuge for me. It was like just what I needed, like therapy. Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. That's special. Like,
Yeah.
there's no coincidences, right? And just to have that opportunity and be able to have that therapy time before seeing your dad and
Yeah.
his
Was
passing. So,
yeah. And it was a great thing at such a sad time.
yeah.
Yeah.
What a
Loved
special
it.
thing, a way to connect with God. I love that. And just that connection with your mom as well, too. Just
Yeah. Being
so,
able to have, yeah. Because as much as I wish I had the connection with God that I believe I have with my mother, do you know what I mean?
mhm. Yeah.
It's easier for me to say, I want to live with my mom again,
Uh-huh.
because I long to be with my mom again. And I know one day when I see God that it'll be like that. But right
Yeah.
now I don't feel close to God as I do my mom and my father. So it's great to be able to connect to God through my mom too, being up there.
Yeah. Because you've had that physical connection with your
Right.
mom. And so, yeah, it
Right.
makes it more tangible still.
Yep.
I
I
love that.
agree.
Yeah, I'm very close to my dad. I mean, even with him passing, he passed when my oldest was 8 months old. And my mom just passed a few years ago, but just through that time, I'm still close, and I connect, like you said, it's tangible. I know him and I remember him. And I love my father in heaven, but there's a different connection. Sometimes
An
it's
interesting
easier.
story, that I have with your dad.
Oh,
You
yeah.
might not know this. My dad was state president at the time,
Mhm.
and couldn't go to a daddy-daughter thing with me. So he called your dad to take me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he took me to my first daddy-daughter.
That's cool.
Yeah, loved him, loved Wayne.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I love your parents. I remember your dad being stake president and stuff, and he was just a kind man. And he was my
Yeah.
dentist too. So
Yeah, there you go. Your dentist is kind.
yeah. So you recently went on an excursion to the Dominican Republic, is that right?
I did.
Can you share about that? That seems so amazing. Just, I love it.
Well, my husband was a bishop, and while he was a bishop, we had these people in our ward that were a younger couple, and he served his mission in Haiti. My husband did. And so they called Steve and said, we feel inspired that we want to adopt a Haitian child. How can you help us? Do you know anybody? And so he knew of some people that could connect them. And then, and the man's name was Elon Dorr. And so they connected, and then Elon took them back to the Dominican Republic because there's a group there of about 100 people with kids. Well, a lot don't have parents, and they're living in the Dominican Republic because they can't go back to Haiti. But the Dominican Republic are so cruel to them.
Oh, really?
About racist. Like even just us walking around with them, they were so mean to them. Anyway,
wow.
This group here has absolutely nothing. They can't get education because of they don't have birth certificates. A lot of them are there because their parents have died during the uprisings, or their parents have just left them. And then so they live with a pastor and his wife, but they have absolutely nothing. The children sleep on the ground. They have absolutely nothing. So they asked us if we wanted to go back. And so my husband could translate and we could get involved. And so we went back, and I've done this a couple times, but if you ever have the opportunity, anybody has the opportunity to go with children so that children can feel it and experience it. It was so humbling, but also spiritual.
Yeah.
They're so appreciative. They, love anything you can do. And it's surprising because they live in the Dominican Republic, but they've never been to a beach. They live minutes away, but they don't have any money to have a car. Do you know what I mean? Like, or to even. So one of the little girls, we had a couple of teenagers that came that they did some fundraising. So one of the girls used her raising money to get a bus to take them all to the beach. So just seeing the beach through their eyes. I mean, I don't know if you saw the video, but they're like jumping on it, full blown jumping, like belly flopping in the ocean. I mean, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Must have missed it. That's amazing because they're surrounded by water.
Yeah.
But
they live in the city, the little city part. So unless you have a way to get around, how could they go to the beach?
Right. Yeah. I served my mission in Puerto Rico, and we had Dominican Republics come over sometimes, but Republicans, and even those conditions for DR is bad, but Haiti I know is worse. And
Steve, after the earthquake, Steve went back to be a translator, and it was horrendous. And they're still like that. I mean, it's just sad, very sad. We're very blessed people.
Yeah. So how long were you able to be down there in the DR?
10 days. Yep.
10 days. Did you have, I mean, that's just what a neat experience for you to witness that new experience with the kids at the beach, and how you mentioned just the beach being a wonderful place for you as well.
Right. And it was also good because I took my 2 daughters. One was married and one isn't. Okay. But I need to go back with my grandkids because just the language is not a barrier, just plain, just loving, you know.
Mhm.
So I
Right.
see it and feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's a Creole that they speak, or what is the language for the Haitians? Like it's
It is
more,
Creole, Haitian Creole,
okay.
a little French, but then they're also learning Spanish because they're in the DR. So it's kind
Mhm.
of a mixed a little bit. So you can be Spanish speaking and get around these Haitians because they know it fairly well.
Okay.
But they do speak Creole. Yeah.
And how did you, did you just go, you and your husband and these people, or is there like, they have people come every once in a while to come help and stuff, like a program?
Well, we were the first to go over there for this group.
Okay.
And what they have is they have a building that is just demolished over there. And if you've been to girls camp, it was seriously like a girls camp, to where
Okay.
they had big tarps over their heads and a table and chairs and a tiny little like structure that people could be in, but it's just teeny if it's pouring. Other than that, they have those tarps. And but they have a building next to them that's demolished. So we did fundraisers to get money to help build the building or put a roof on it and a floor on it. So that's what we were doing. And our next push is to be able to get them birth certificates. If you're 5 and under, you can get a birth certificate, but it's $150 each. But the
Wow.
ones above 5, it's going to be hard to get a birth certificate because we don't know where a lot of their mothers and fathers are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did they come over from Haiti? Just the pastor goes and gets them or something, or?
I think that the whole group was there after the I think that they've been like after the big earthquake and other things, that a big group was there and they work in the sugar fields. But then they've had children or the parents have died, or it's like the next generation type thing. I know one little boy there said his mom was in Haiti and he hadn't seen her for like 5 years, and he said she's trying to get him a birth certificate to go, but I
So
mean, I
they
don't know
can't
how
go
much.
back to Haiti without the birth certificate?
Nope, and they can't
Oh,
have
okay.
any DR without a birth certificate.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Two-edged sword there. That's hard.
Yeah.
So, wow. I mean, that's very humbling circumstances over in DR and Haiti. So, how is this pastor, like, I mean, feeding them and taking care of them just by?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, they just love everything. It's almost like if I brought out toothbrushes and toothpaste, right?
Mhm.
These kids just come up, grab them type things, but it's interesting because I thought, you can teach them how to do it, right?
Mhm.
But when those run out, do you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
have nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just pretty much people helping them. Some of the older people go off and work in the sugar canes, and then they switch and like babysit the kids, and then the other person will come over and switch.
Mhm.
But pretty we're financing them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how would more people, like if other people wanted to get involved with it, where would they go to find out?
It's called the Uprise. It's a charity.
Okay.
And
Like
donation.
uprise.org or something?
Yeah, you can look on my Instagram, and there's a little thing that you can donate right on there, and it's
Okay.
very much good. Yeah, appreciate it if you do it.
Okay. Yeah, but you're right. That's that's what a neat experience that you were able to do that, and help like this cycle of helping them.
Yeah,
So
but it was
trickle
because,
effect.
yeah, but it was interesting because there's trash all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
For you being over there, you see it.
Yeah.
But I need to get a garbage bag and clean it up and all that. But the next day I went back and there was still more trash. And you have to realize that that's their culture. They've never been taught, right?
Right.
And sometimes you just have to let the little things go and just love and just forget about all the other things that
Yeah.
bug you.
And as you build that relationship, there'll be opportunities probably to teach more of like hygiene and, cleanliness and stuff.
But you have to get that bridge to them where they're at
Yeah.
so that they're going to want to listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Build that relationship.
Yeah. Sure.
And do they all live just outside and under those tarps?
There's there's a little bit of huts and stuff that, like, I know a bunch of the kids each have a place to live with other families in that little community, but they still sleep on the floor, but like somebody will let them come sleep at their little hut place, but there's like 6 or 7 people in that little hut.
Mm-hmm.
And there's four. So I know that when they get that building up, which while we were there, they got that roof on, and then they're planning all the kids live there. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And you guys help with that roof, put that roof on?
Yeah.
What a rewarding experience.
Yeah. But it's also, I mean, you have to, it's not all or nothing, right? Because I sit there and go, but we in this and this, and you forget about the little miracles. Well, they have a roof now. Right. Instead of, I want them to have beds, I want them to have, but the small little miracles in between, you got to look at and acknowledge. It was great. It was wonderful.
Wow. So do you already have a time you're going back, or you just?
Yeah. Yep. We're planning to go. Yeah.
And you're
pardon me?
Go. I was just going to say, and you're taking your grandkids then? Some of your grandkids, or?
I've got a couple of boys who my daughter Stacy has, and they're so shy. Like, even just talking, like they're extremely shy. And the oldest, I think we can take back, and he can, after a day, can jump in and start playing with them. Yeah.
How old is he?
He is 8.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty young, you can take him, and it'd be a good experience.
And I didn't think it would be, or I'd even do something like that because they are so young. Mm-hmm. But Robbie and Jessica brought their 2 children, and they just had a ball just playing with the kids, and there's no language barrier.
Yeah.
Just
play.
So it was great.
Yeah. They probably connect a lot easier with the kids because they're same, just a bunch of other kids.
But also, you know how you always say, you better eat that because there's people that can't, don't have anything to eat. This group they eat once a day. They eat a pretty big once a day. And just to even have some eyes and experiences on that for grandkids and for teenagers to see how blessed they are, I think it's valuable.
Oh yeah. Their lives are changed, I'm sure, even at that age. What an awesome
probably experience. Just for a couple of years, but
yeah.
And then they'll go normal, but hopefully they'll put a seed in there to feel more grateful and for the things they have.
Yeah. So where do you stay when you're down there?
We stay at a resort. I know that sounds bad. We stay at a resort, and it was really nice. But we couldn't, we'd have to tent it. Well, there was no places that we could have stayed, but we stay in a resort there, and it's very, And
it's pretty close to where they are.
It's like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. What a new experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So you mentioned about the beach. Is that your favorite place to go out in nature?
It really, what's so funny is I love the beach. But I don't like salt my eyes type thing. And we have a place down at Lake Powell that I'd love to sea-doo, but we did a sea-doo out at the beach, and I hated it because of the salt water, right? But yeah, it's probably my favorite things to do is the tropical beaches. Yeah. And I would have said that all along, but my trip going from San Diego to Oregon, those beaches were incredible.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know they were there. Yeah.
So you found some hidden gems to maybe go back to.
Yeah, for sure.
So When was your last trip on your van?
Oh, we went up to Oregon. I had a granddaughter that was born.
Oh, exciting.
No, yeah, we went up in Oregon. It wasn't when we went there also when she was born, but we went up there because my dad died.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was the last time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So if you had, do you have any tips for the listeners just of getting out in nature and just feeling the peace of nature and connecting with God that way?
You know what? I think one of the things that I think connecting in nature is, first of all, my mom used to always say making memories, right?
Mhm.
Whether good or making memories. And I think don't hesitate to try to find the perfect time to do, when can we go? Let's not go now. I think it's just to go because, once you're out there, well, if we're all trying to get our kids to know where to go for salvation and to learn how to feel the spirit, I think what a perfect place because nature is all about God. And I think it was interesting because my oldest son was telling me that he went to like a exhibit of Van Gogh, and the tour guide was trying to have them get to know the man, right? And he was saying, showing him each of the pictures that he had painted, and what do you think he was feeling when he painted this? How can, what experience do you think he was having in his life doing this? And we say that nature is God's canvas, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to know the man, go look at nature, because that's where you'll find him. And
Yeah.
I think one of the lessons that I've learned is how much God loves beauty and how much time and effort he had to put in to make, all the huge, vast, magnificent things that you can see and do. And I think he appreciates people who take the time out of their day, to go and see that and experience it. And one thing, I have ADD, and it's really hard for me to cut off the noise or to calm myself and out in nature, because really you have to have an agenda, right? Or you have to have a goal of what you want to see and do out there. One thing is we just bought a home down in St. George, and we used to come out down here every year, a couple times a year for the warmth and the sun. And we always used to do the exact same thing, where we'd go, what we'd do. And then once
got in a pattern.
Once we got a home down here and started experiencing things and expanding our vision of what you can do and see, there is so many things to do here that I never even realized.
Yeah.
Because I had time to expand my vision, right? And it's interesting because we have friends that live on the other side of town, and just from my house to their house, the scenery is completely different. And
Really?
when I was about this podcast, I was stopped at a stoplight, which of course I'm stopped and I'm looking around, and all of a sudden to see that red rock with those snow capped.
Oh yeah.
How many times have I driven there and never looked up at that? You know what I mean? I mean, people put their screensavers as that type of stuff,
right?
Eat every day, So that's been great. And I also think that I went in for a temple recommend, and the state president was saying, we have these young kids, and I really don't think they I had one girl come in and saying she's never felt the spirit, and I went home thinking, I bet she's felt the spirit, but not knowing how to recognize it. Right?
Yeah.
I think if you can take your children out there, out in nature, and have them, because if you see something magnificent and beautiful, you do get the spirit,
Yes.
Tune in to that. What better thing can you give your kids,
Yeah. And to point that out to them. How are you feeling right now? Well, that's the spirit. That's what you feel.
Right.
You're feeling God.
Yeah. Because I think, we look for things to give our kids, EFY, that kind of stuff, to hopefully they'll have a spiritual experience. But, you can go on a walk daily. Every single day, your scenery can change,
Yeah.
just because things have happened. And that's one thing that you don't have to give your kids. You just need to allow them the experience to feel it.
Yeah. The time in nature is so important, especially as they're growing up, just to
Yeah.
have that foundation of connecting with nature and God that way. And I
Yeah.
love how you said, just to go do it. Like, don't wait for the perfect time. Just
Right.
make it the perfect time. Just go and do.
Well, it's interesting because as a mother, me going to the beach, right, was so different than me going to the beach now, because as a
Yeah.
mother, I'd be like, don't get too close, you're going to die in the waves, or pull over, or they're hungry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can see it and experience it so much better and different. And it's become like a spiritual experience, which has
That's awesome.
been something I've needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I think, we go through different stages in our life. And so the same things are going to feel differently to us. You had all that responsibility when your kids are little, and concerns and watching out for them, caring for them. Now you can just enjoy it and not worry, have all those responsibilities when you go now. So,
And see it.
yeah.
Like, you can see it now.
Yeah.
And to go to all those beaches on the same coastline, right? And have them be so different,
Yes.
the colors, the textures, the sounds, and being able to disconnect from the world to be able to, look for that.
Right. And I think that's the key there too, is just quieting your life, the moments, and being able to just connect with nature and disconnect from your social media or whatever.
Yeah.
In the
For sure.
world. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful. And you've had your grandkids, some of your grandkids go with you, right? For short spurts, or
just a short, but we took them fishing and had their very first time fishing. But I know why people should be doing this younger in life.
yeah.
Those are long nights. Yeah.
Oh, having the kids, you mean?
Having the grandkids, yeah.
Yeah.
And
a lot of energy,
sad.
right?
What's so sad is the iPads, the journey, like,
yeah,
on that kind of stuff.
So do you have a
But
rule when they go with you that they can't take any of that?
No, because sometimes it saves us on the trip.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, we try to get out and as much as we can, for sure.
That's awesome. What a neat experience. And like you said, your mom's, said just create the memories no matter what. And what beautiful memories for your grandkids, and to build those relationships with them and to be out in nature doing it. And I'm sure
Well, even if you're in a downpour or you have a flat tire, you're making memories.
Yeah.
And kids won't remember a lot of things, but they will remember adventures and things like that. They'll have experiences and they'll remember them.
Yeah, my family went camping a lot when we lived in Oregon, and you know how Oregon is nice about rain. And I remember going, I don't remember all of them, but I remember one camping trip, and it poured. We were there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, and we stayed the whole time, and it just poured the whole time. We just played games in the tent and stuff. And it's funny, that memory sticks out, even though it wasn't the greatest camping experience, but it was fun. And so, yeah, the memories are there.
Yeah. When it rains here, the next morning, you to go out and have the smell of rain and the feel. Nothing is more nostalgic for me. Like that reminds me of home.
Yep.
And there isn't tons that do remind me of home, but that for sure. And it's nature. That's what really.
Yeah, for me too. The rain and the smell of the rain, and I can smell it coming. And I love all that. I love water.
Yeah. I worked at addiction recovery, and of course it's the 12 steps. So you're trying to find your higher power, And of course, I believe in God. I believe him as a person. I believe him, as a spirit. I believe, all of that. But probably 3 people there, believed that nature was their higher power.
Yeah.
And I tried to imagine that or to understand. And I get the biology, the evolution, the, what moves them along is seasons and, that kind of stuff. And then I started thinking, that Native Americans, they believe that, the sun and wind are their gods, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking of why people find that as their higher power. And I was thinking, that's maybe the most beautiful and powerful things they can imagine that is out of their control, right?
Yes.
And I was thinking, God wants us to use nature as a medium, but not the end, because he wants you to get to know him and to be able to realize that he's got a personality. He's got, everything.
A sense of humor. Yes.
Seeing, and just like Van Gogh, seeing his art and seeing, wow, what was he feeling when he made this? What was he doing, or where was he in his whole dimension of all these different things that he's created for us? And I think just any way that you can get to your higher power, but even get a little bit further to start knowing the man and who he is and what he did for us, so we can vastly, live with him again and be reunited with your parents and my parents and the people that people have lost is the ultimate goal. And I strongly believe in that the atonement that was given to us is there for a reason. And I also think one thing that this just came to me, I'm going on a little tangent.
Oh, you're fine.
This
is great.
When my husband was bishop, we had Elder Kikuchi, I think it's Yoshida, Kikuchi, come to our ward just off the cuff. We didn't know he was coming.
Oh yeah.
So he was up on the stand, and Steve, of course, turned his time over to him. And he gets up and he starts speaking, and he says, we all prepare ourselves to meet God, right? He says, but we need to be connected now. Yeah. And he said, Bishop here. So he had Steve come up to him, and he held Steve's hand the entire time he gave this talk. And he said, in the very beginning of the morning, you need to connect through prayer. Whatever you do, you need to connect to God. And at noon, you need to reconnect, see where you're at, see where, what you've done, your actions have taken you away or whatever, but you need to reconnect. And then, at dinner time, you just need to reconnect throughout the day. And I think that is the perfect thing of nature, is wherever you need to go, wherever it's, the temple or nature or whatever, to connect, you need to do that. And you need to reevaluate to see where I'm at, where did I get off course, and reconnect. And I think nature's a beautiful thing for that.
Yeah. Thank you. That's awesome. I agree with you that nature is just a tool, I guess, a medium to get to understand Heavenly Father and make that connection, and that he is real.